Hi guys, I'm just stopping in for a quick hello and to talk about something that has been coming up in my clients, and just to see if you guys resonate with it, and also talk to you about my sisterhood community. So come on in. So in my books on conscious parenting, I often write that our core fundamental thirst, our core fundamental quest in life is to answer the question, do you love me? Do you see me? Am I worthy? Do you love me? Do you see me? Am I worthy? And I cannot tell you how often it keeps playing itself out. So in your own life, if you are going through a hard time, ask yourself, what am I really looking for here? What do I really need? What does my innermost, smallest part of myself really want right now? And it will inevitably, if you're brave enough to look in the mirror, be a variation of a desire for the answer to, do you love me? Do you see me? Am I worthy? Most of us get tripped, get caught, get trapped, seduced by this thirst to be seen, to be deemed worthy, to be understood, to feel valid. In my book, The Awakened Family, I talk about how children need parents to see them for who it is they are. In my book, A Radical Awakening, I talk about how, because we're not seen for who it is we are under constant attack of what I call the triple threat: the need for approval, validation, and praise. There is no end to this need until and unless we heal that from deep within ourselves. Until then, we will keep looking for these answers on the outside, on the external, in the surrogate object. Sometimes the surrogate object is alcohol or a substance, food, drugs. Sometimes the surrogate is in your achievement. Sometimes the surrogate is in your relationship, or your motherhood, or your wifehood, or partnerhood. And that external object, it could be a child, it could be a lover, it could be your friend, your sister, it doesn't matter. If we are triggered to the point of feeling this craving for validation, for significance, and the object is outside, we will constantly keep searching for it, because the outside cannot give it to you, no matter how they try, because the lens through which you are looking is broken. And this need for, do you love me? Do you see me? Am I worthy? Is a human need. But because it's a human need, we also fuck it all up, because we keep expecting the other to meet that need. I've done it, you've done it, we keep doing it. But here's the thing, the other on the outside is also in their own atmosphere, stratosphere, cybersphere. So you are looking for something and they're looking for something. They're in their own reality, you are in their own reality. But each one of us thinks we are the center of our own reality. We're so important. Yet, we don't feel worthy. So whenever we are looking for something, we have to ask, what am I looking for? What do I need? And can this person give it to me? Because most of the time, the person has no idea how to give it to you, what to say, because they are not your parent. They were not the original cause of your pain. They weren't even around. So they are just here in the present moment. And we put our expectation or our desire onto the present moment. But they are your teacher, right? The present moment is the teacher. So if in the present moment you're not getting your needs met, don't be angry with the present moment. Go within and say, what is the need that I need met that I am imposing or projecting onto the present moment? Right? Do you love me? Do you love me? Do you love me? Everybody wants an answer to do you love me? Yet we don't realize how unloving we are to ourselves. How unloving we are to the present moment. Right? And we don't see that. All we see is, you don't love me. You don't care about me. I'm not important to you, right? Because we are so filled with this unworthiness that we project it everywhere. And when we project it everywhere, we perpetuate it everywhere, right? It's a beautiful, self-fulfilling prophecy. So, the main thing that we have to do when it comes up is not to be upset at ourselves, not to be guilty or ashamed. We're human. We all got screwed in childhood in some way. And we're all like, do you love me? Do you love me? Can you be my mommy? Can you be my daddy? We're all doing this non-stop stuff to each other. But there is an intense delusion that occurs in our mind because of this hunger that causes us to get angry or have expectations of the person who's in front of us. It could be our employee, our employer, our sister, it doesn't matter. The past wound gets projected onto the present person. And the person gets now the brunt or the wrath or the force of your past hurt. And we keep doing this and doing this and doing this. So when you are caught in a dynamic, when we're caught in a dynamic and we're stuck and there's feelings rising to the fore, we need to ask, what is the deeper source of this that we are putting onto the person in front of us? And how can I ask for my needs with a clear awareness that ultimately only I can meet them? It's really hard. You know, I remember a couple first came to me for therapy a long time ago when I first began doing therapy. And they each were like, okay, these are my needs. And so one of them said, for example, I have a need that you speak Chinese, Japanese, Arabic, stand on your head or whistle from your ass and cook amazing Turkish food, okay? And then she would say something like, well, I have a need that you are a multimillionaire and you give me food in my bed and I have satin everywhere in the house and you walk on your head. And, you know, and they both are like, that's it. That's all. Can you meet my needs? And the other one is like, what? And then the one who asks for the need to be met goes, oh, see, you don't love me. You don't love me. Right? And they don't realize that their needs to the other person's ears are Chinese or Turkish or whatever the language, Hindi, whatever the language is that the other one does not speak. But our expectation is high. And not only our expectation, our indignation and our wound. Oh, see. So, We are here to actually only prove our own self-fulfilling prophecy, which is, at the end of the day, at some core level, see, you don't love me. Now, real healing. Do you want to know what real healing looks like? You don't have ever a sense of deficit. You don't ever expect the other person to give you love. You're like, okay. You know that it's you. You don't ever enter, even if you enter lack, it's like for a little dip in the ocean of lack, but then you come back up and you go, abundance is my job. Self-protection is my job. Self-abundance is my job. Self-worth is my job. You just don't go deep into the abyss of unworthiness because you know it's a lie. There is no unworthiness except in our belief systems, except in our conditioning. We are worthy. And when you understand you are worthy always, that there's no such thing as unworthiness, there is no enemy on the outside. There's no enemy on the outside. So if someone has made you an enemy, it's a lie. You can't be anybody's enemy, you understand? You're only an enemy to yourself. So in my world, as a person of whatever person I am, of influence or whatever people like to say, I make a lot of people believe that I am the enemy. But I know I'm nobody's enemy. But people can think that I'm the enemy, no problem. It's no problem because they're not even talking about me. They're talking about the me in their head. Do you understand? So if right now in your life somebody hates you, they're not hating you, sweethearts. They're not hating you, I promise you. They're hating the fact that you don't match their reality of who it is they needed you to be. It's like completely distorted mirrors. So the way you know you're healed or healing is when you don't see lack. You see beauty. You see compassion. You see humor. You see joy. You're just like not understanding scarcity. But let other people see scarcity. That's okay. Have compassion for them. Let other people hate you. Have compassion for them. You don't have to hate yourself. Let people be bothered by you. It's okay. You're going to disappoint people because they have high expectations of you. No worries. You have to know who you are. You have to see worth in who you are and understand the dynamic that people live within. So when you heal yourself, when you work on yourself, there is no enemy. There's nothing to say. You know, if somebody is bitching you out and moaning about you and grumbling about you, you're like, I don't even know what you're talking about, but it sounds like you think you're talking about me. I'm so sorry you feel this way. Wow, you really feel this way about me. Right? But it doesn't bother you because it's not you. You know it's not you. It's their idea of you. No problem. Now, having said that, there is always a catch. There is such a thing as people effing with you. Okay? How do you know there is such a thing? When people actually physically harm you. When actually people step on your toes on purpose, no, that's a real thing. And you're allowed to say, ouch, bloody bullshit, get off my toe. If somebody, takes your hair and pulls it, you're allowed to say, bloody bitch, get off me. You can say whatever you want. Asshole. If people physically harm you, if they come and they physically destroy your property, if they steal your t-shirts, if they smear your wall, if they burn your food, okay, then you can be like, hey, create a boundary, right? If somebody rapes you, yeah, that's a problem. Don't sit in silence and go, oh, I have no enemies. No, stand up for yourself. If there has been a real physical violation of your property or your being, like somebody has slapped you, hit you, touched you, then you can go, that was an offense. All the rest, just walk away from it. Stay away from it. It's none of your concern. It's all psychological. And in the psychological, you have a choice. You always have a choice in the psychological. And the psychological labyrinths we enter all boil down to, do you love me? Do you love me? Am I lovable? But here's the beauty, my guys. No one can answer that question but you. Nobody. It's not anybody's responsibility to make you feel loved, to see you, to validate you. Only you can do that for yourself. I'm so sorry. People can love you, but it's not their job to love you. And more than that, it's not their job to make you feel loved. People can see you, but it's not their job to see you. And more than that, they cannot make you feel seen. This is all an inside job. And do not expect people to love you, to validate you, to see you. It's okay. And in fact, if they don't validate you, don't see you, and don't love you, it's okay. It's the same thing. Because it's not their job. So when they don't, and they call you a bloody bitch or whatever, as I have been called many a time, you just go, okay, interesting, right? When you don't need their approval, you don't listen to their disapproval. It's the same thing. Your ego cannot be all seduced when they're saying, oh, she's so beautiful. Similarly, don't let your ego get caught when they call you a bitch. It's coming from their projection of you. It has nothing to do with you. You are eternally worthy. You were always seen. You are seen. You are full and complete. Don't let anybody get the power over you because you gave them the power. And then don't blame them when they don't see you. You know? You give the power, then you're upset that they don't see you. Why did you give them the power? They don't get the power in the first place. So anything psychological is self-induced, self-inflicted, self-perpetuated. And we got to get out of the cycle ourselves. And it all comes down to, do you love me? Am I significant? And let me tell you, the person in front of you cannot answer that for you.